Welcome back to Will It Work? I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at the PSOne. PSOne came out around the same time that the PlayStation 2 did. It is a PlayStation. We've already looked at PlayStation. However, this was a sort of a PlayStation Slim that Sony came out with. And through a lot of revisions of the PlayStation kind of evolved over time. We had a number of different units that started out with, the rear of the unit had composite out and RCA jacks for audio, and it had a parallel port and a serial port, and they eventually took all of that away in different stages. And then they also modified a lot of the internals, because there were actually some bugs inside the original PlayStation, and the games had to include fixes whenever they first loaded up to patch those bugs so that the games would work right. And there were some chipset changes from the very earliest PlayStation, which resulted in the later PlayStations having small performance or display changes. Most of this stuff is minor. You wouldn't really know it. I think maybe one of the largest changes that probably came about was that they went from the standard, basically all digital controller to the original DualShock, which we have here, and that came in later editions of the fat PlayStation. But the initial PlayStation had the non-sticks. Now, I count these in my personal collection as two different consoles, but it's really just a variant of the PlayStation, right? Two different variants of PlayStation, which is, here nor there. You could deduct 1 point if you want to count them all as just being PlayStation. I'm fine with that. It's just that these are a lot of changes over a long life cycle, and this was a very popular system, this PlayStation 1. It outsold the PlayStation 2 when it was initially on the market. And so, for the whole year of the year 2000, I believe, this outsold PlayStation 2 because people really love PlayStation, and this was, a mini system of it. Now, they sold it as a portable sort of pack, and you could connect this monitor to the rear of the unit, and the monitor would, fold down on the top and give you a sort of, stereo speakers display. Worked pretty good, so you'd have this portable system, and they threw in a cigarette lighter plug for it so that you could, keep it in an RV, keep it in a boat or something, and get it to work that way. So they were making it sort of appealing to a lot of different ways in which people might want to use a sort of smaller PlayStation, and so that's where we get right here. Now, I know that this one, I believe, it has a bad laser pickup, and I ordered a new laser pickup, and I'm going to try and repair that in a future one, just like I'm going to try and repair another one I have that's a fat body PlayStation. So this one we won't be trying out, but these two back here, I haven't tested those, so we're going to see if they work, and we'll also possibly check if either of them have been modded. I don't think they have, but you never know. Let's first see if there's anything inside of them. There is not. This screen does work. It needs a little cleaning, but you hear that? That little loose plastic? That's because the tab that kind of holds this up seems to have broken. It's kind of a crappy plastic tab that I guess would snap if you did it, too hard or something. And it doesn't not work or anything. It just doesn't hold up. So you'd have to put like a book or something behind it to kind of keep it up while you're playing a game. It's not a big deal, But we don't need to mess with that because we're going to run the feed directly into the capture box and take a look at some games that way. Whoops. Dropped the light. Everything's falling over. Nothing wants to stay. Okay. Now, I have a few extras here. I have a memory card from... Looks like... What does that say? Interpet? I mean, I don't think so, but... I have my glasses on too, but that's really hard to see it. It's probably Interact. But that crazy font right there. It says for PSOne, as though you can't use a different one than PSOne. I don't know. Even Sony branded it different. We have a copy of Ridge Racer on the Greatest Hits collection. Need for Speed Rally. Hardball 99. Hardball 5. Tecmo Stackers. Family Fun Puzzle. I know everybody remembers that game. No, none of you do. Asteroids. Driver. Tomb Raider 3. He's bringing back memories. Rascal from Psygnosis. We talked about them before. Cubert. Meow. Williams Arcade Greatest Hits. Hey, there's Joust. Very familiar with Joust. Pong. The Next Level. Somebody actually bought that. Boy, you don't need that around this house. Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation. And NHL 2001. So we'll look at a few of those, and we'll see if both of these systems work. Like I said, we'll switch over to the video side, and we'll walk through it, and we'll talk about a little bit about the games. Here we go. Okay, we're looking at the PlayStation 1. I put in Tomb Raider 3. We'll take a quick look at that. Tomb Raider to me is always kind of an interesting game because it came out the first one came out right around the time that Mario 64 came out. And it was just unusual because in terms of that third-person 3D, that both of these games had this sort of adventure going on, right? Mario was running through his Mario Land, adventuring, collecting his stars and everything. And Lara Croft was running around in her Aztec ruins or whatever the heck it is, fighting wolves. And, they're very similar in a lot of ways. And I think if Tomb Raider hadn't come along when it did, Nintendo would have really had one up on the PlayStation in terms of that kind of game design and this wide open space, etc. It just, Core just happened to, and Eidos just happened to put it together and get a game out that was competitive, and it just worked in Sony's favor. Now this, of course, isn't the first one. This is the third one, and but we'll take a look at it and see what the graphics were like back in 1998 PlayStation. Yeah, and I don't know how many Tomb Raiders there have been in total. After, I think, 3, they stopped numbering them. Even there's this one here, The Last Revelation. Yeah, she's been a bit of a phenomenon. I never really cared that much for the games. The the one they did a couple of years ago, these at this point, probably like 6 years ago or something, was pretty good. But yeah, this doesn't even use. Oh, let's see if it uses DualShock here. There we go. Yeah, you can definitely see how texture maps are so huge and everything is dated. Where are you supposed to go, man? Did I just climb this wall? You're supposed to figure this shit out. You just like get thrown right into it, and you're just like, I guess I gotta just figure this out. I'm gonna do some Lara Croft shit. It's like nothing. It's like nothing that way. Laura, I need you to turn around. Oh, it's just like that shit where like you have to use the digital to turn it right and left, right? But Jesus. Big Ben going off over here. Just to remind me I have to do something in an hour. But you can't turn with the, like you, well, maybe you can't. Boy, I don't know. This is really weird. Sometimes she sidesteps and sometimes she's turning. Do I go down here? Probably not, right? Well, maybe I do. Oh, now I'm like sliding. This is the one where you like eventually like kayak or something. All that clipping. All that stuff we've kind of moved beyond, or we should have. Clipping and going in between walls and all that shit. It's all alive and well in the old Tomb Raider games. But, you know, I mean... Oh, what is this, like? Am I in quicksand? Fuck am I in? Or did I just get into some clipping problem here? Can I jump? I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Now I'm in like some first-person mode. Oh, I have no air. Turn around, Laura, no! Laura, no! Laura, no, you're gonna die, Laura, no! Oh, shit. Stay out of the dirt, honey. So what do I do here, man? Okay, square doesn't do shit. Circle, nothing. X, nothing. Triangle just pulls the guns. Yeah. Yeah! Get out of the muck. What's going on? But, you know, if you wanted a game that was long and adventuresome and stuff, and it wasn't an RPG, but it was like an action game, then, you know, she kind of had a thing. Ooh, this game sucks. Alright, let's stop playing. It wasn't for me. I didn't have patience. Now, Don Anderson and his friends, they played this a lot, and you know they progressed in it. I think if you were stoned or something, and you were just like, you know, had that thing where you could play a game for like 10 hours and it just rolled off of you, etc. Okay, whatever. That's what that's what works for you. So this console works. I'm going to detach everything here and then connect the other one so we can see how well that one works. And we'll check out Driver from GT Interactive. Quite remember. I remember something like GT Interactive and 2K, like they formed into one company or they changed their name or maybe one bought out the other. I don't quite remember it though, but Something along those lines, I had thought. I'd have to look it up. Yeah, looks like this one's going to load. 1998, 1999. And this was one I didn't really play, but I know there's a cult of driver thing. Like, there's some people that really like the driver games. Driver 3 or something. It's like really great, I guess. Not sure. Yeah, when the PlayStation was out, like, again, my buddy Eric had it, so I didn't have it. So we would play games over at his place once in a while when there was something cool to check out. But I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I got one later on, and now I have half a dozen of them. But, I didn't play a lot of these games initially. I don't know. I mean, it did appeal to me. I did want to play them, but just like it is now, there are so many games for so many systems, and you only have so much time in a day. You can only play so much stuff, especially if you want to get all wrapped up in like a really long RPG or something, or you were playing like an online game. Fuck, forget about it, man. You don't got time for shit. When I was reviewing games, then I had to play a lot of different games, etc., but I had to play them in short bursts. I didn't generally complete every game I played because it takes too much time. When I was at Spill, Jeff, he would actually play the games from beginning to end, but he was getting paid like a wage to do that. Like, that was his job. It was like the dream job. He was living the dream when he was at Spill. I don't know how much they were paying him or anything, but it was enough to survive on, I suppose. And he would just get the game, and he would play it until it was done, and then he would review it, which I thought was pretty cool. That's a lot to ask in general, because, if you're pumping out reviews all the time, especially on a website, etc., it's very difficult to play the game all the way through the end without cheats or something of that nature, depending on what the game is, of course. Some games you can get through quicker, and you can play it all the way through. Some games don't even have ends. It's like a sports game or something. You just could play a few rounds of it and get an idea. But longer games, Dark Souls all the way to the end or something. Jeff was all about that kind of stuff. It was pretty cool. You need a guy like that. All right, can we get to the part where I drive the car instead of the video? Here we are re-experiencing what load times were like. We still have those today, don't we? Yeah, we do. Except now it's like with Xbox and stuff, it's like, I don't know which one's which. Is the black one right? But now you gotta load, you gotta download the game first. So instead of having a load time in between rounds and shit, you gotta load the game, or the game has to patch itself. So you gotta wait like an hour for the fucking game to install, and then you can play the game finally, and then there's no load times. But there still are. All right, whatever, man. Let's just get on. I don't care about all this. She's just gonna load another video. Is that what it's gonna do? We're gonna actually play a game now. Burnout, Handbrake, Slalom. It's kind of like the Tony Hawk of cars.
Hey man, what the paint?
Well, it would help to have the DualShock on, right? Let's try that again. Why are you having me do these stunts in the middle of the parking garage? Whose plan was this? You guys don't even know me. I figure out which is handbrake. That's reverse. Oh, I do a 180. What the hell? I did a 360. 180's hard.
Hey, man. You crazy? Hey, man. Press the car, man.
Yeah, we won't play that one anymore. I got all day to like learn this shit. Both of these seem to be working just fine, which is good to see. No problems with the optics. Nice and quiet, unlike some other ones that just sound like they're chewing candy. Need for Speed V-Rally. Played that Need for Speed Most Wanted, I think, when that first came out. That was pretty fun, actually. Forget what system that was on. Like PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360. Right in the beginning. One of those two platforms. It was pretty cool. It was good. It was a good time. But then they have 50 of these Need for Speed games, and I don't know which one is good or which ones are bad. And the problem with Electronic Arts is that they got all these different development studios, and so you don't even know if you could do the research and stuff, I guess, but it's you don't really just looking at it blankly. You don't know which game company made the game and if it's good or if it's bad. And they do that with a lot of games, their war games will come out, the Call of Duties, or that's Activision, but I don't know what EA had, Medal of Honor or something, but whoever it is, even Activision, 1 year to the next, it's a different company, You're just this is they brand this thing. Konami does that with Silent Hill. They have all these different studios making horror games, and they just brand it Silent Hill. It's it's not really a Silent Hill game. Oh, these old games where you had to choose to no controller 1. I'm plugged in, Jack. What do you mean no controller 1? Well, that's interesting. So if I turn on the DualShock, it says no controller. Turn off the DualShock, and it sees it. So this is old school. No DualShock. No analog control. All digital all the time. In a racing game. V-Rally Corsica. Still, it is impressive, the 3D that the PlayStation was able to push around at a time when most of the other consoles couldn't even give you a full screen experience. We did. So this is a Need for Speed rally racing. Rally racing's it must be popular in England or something. It's not popular in the United States. I'm sure people are into it, but I don't think it's ever on TV on anything. I've never seen it on. I've never seen any coverage for rally racing. Maybe on one of those obscure ESPN channels or something, they'll have some kind of something on, but I don't know. There's a lot of types of racing out in the world, and rally racing being more of a timed sort of just get through the course type of deal. I don't think it's that interesting for to watch on television type of thing. That's just my opinion. I haven't watched it, so maybe it's fucking fantastic. Sega had a really good, I think it was Sega Rally for the Dreamcast. That was fun. It was a good time waster. But it's the same thing. You're basically just competing against your, driver's times and stuff, and you're not really racing against other cars most of the time. All right, finally, we will look at the original Ridge Racer. And the reason I want to look at that is that this was the launch title in Japan. So when the PlayStation first came out, this was the title to get. They had Toon Car or something, or Toonland or something else came out, but if you were going to buy this, it was like you wanted Ridge Racer. I believe when it first started, there was like a mini version of Galaxian you could play at the very beginning of the game. I don't know if they kept that while it was loading, but yep, there it is, or Gallia. This was like revolutionary. We're like, oh my god, look, you can like play a game while the game is loading, you know, and then nobody else did anything like that ever again. This is like 93. But yeah, like graphic wise, like this was like, it looked basically spot on to how the arcade looked at the time, I believe. And people were really blown away by this. And obviously there were many better racing games that had come along for the PlayStation throughout its life. But it's just kind of interesting to see where it all started. Like, this was like, you came out of the 2D universe of platform gaming, and PlayStation was like, welcome to 3D. This is not pole position. You are now in a whole new universe with PlayStation. It lived up to the hype. It really did. I think by today's standards, it's horribly grainy and chunky as hell and hard to see and blurry and not really well texture mapped. But boy, back then, this was some shit. I think it's all like running on like what, 2 megs of RAM. It's kind of crazy in and of itself. Not gigs, you know, megs. Today's games, they can't get enough RAM. Who uses brakes? Not me. Brakes are for kids. Fuck your pink car. There you go. First round of Ridge Racer. Welcome to PlayStation. And that's going to do it for this video. I was going to test out to see if these were modded. I don't know if I have. Take a look here real quick. I do have Threads of Fate. You can go ahead and try it, but I don't think these are. So this will be really quick. Take out the Ridge Racer. Just modding was such a common thing. I don't know how common it was on PlayStation 1 or PS1s like this. You know, I'm sure there are mods for these units, but these came so late. I don't know if people were like modding them en masse like they were with the original ones, because, you know, people probably had moved on to PlayStation 2 at that point. And these were more for people to pick up as like a mini PlayStation to kind of pad out their library. Yeah, so this one is like, no sir, we do not allow you to play this game. Please take it out, this smelly pirated copy that you have. This is no good. You say, okay, I take it out, but let's try the other one. And like I said, I am going to fix one of these. And what I'll probably do is I'll fix them and I'll make a video, but it won't be part of the count or the will it work. Well, it'll be part of the will it work, but it won't be part of the console count because we'll just see if my fix of the swapping out the laser pickup fixes the systems or not. And then we can see if those are modded or not as well. And just punch this one in here. Don't really need the memory card to be honest, but why not? And we'll see if I don't think either of these are though. I don't think any of the three of them are, but it's worth taking a look. Yep. All right, well, that's it for the show. Thanks for watching. PlayStation, king of consoles in a way. Certainly one of the most important consoles there ever was. So, it deserves its a double look at it. But we'll be back tomorrow with something different. It won't be PlayStation. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.